Hello, you watch Afghan News with Mohsen Jamal. Afghan troops clashed with the Taliban in southern city of Kandahar for a second day on Sunday after insurgents launched coordinated attacks with rocket-propelled grenades and suicide raids against government buildings. The death toll from gun battles that continued through the night had risen to 4, with 46 people wounded, including 24 policemen, police said. But Ministry of Interior spokesman Zimar Bashiri Sunday said that so far a total of 23 attackers have been killed, as well as 2 members of the security forces, and another 40 people were wounded. Heavy machine gun fire and explosions could still be heard, with fighting continuing in 2 areas of the city as Afghan forces aided by NATO-led coalition troops mopped up remaining pockets of insurgent resistance. The Taliban claimed more than 100 people took part and said their goal was to take control of Kandahar city, adding that the attacks, which involved more than 6 suicide bombers and explosive-packed vehicles, had nothing to do with revenge for the killing of Al-Qaeda ally Osama bin Laden, despite claims otherwise by President Hamid Karzai. Afghanistan's ambassador to the United States cautioned against a hasty American withdrawal from the region now that Osama bin Laden has been killed, saying his death doesn't eliminate the threat from Al-Qaeda. Ambassador Eklil Ahmad Hakimi, in an interview in Washington, said the underneath him is a very complicated and complex network that needs to be dealt with, concluding that the job is something that we should be very cautious about. Hakimi also expressed hope that the proof of bin Laden's presence in neighboring Pakistan for years would spur that country's leaders to accelerate cooperation on helping forge a peace deal to end the war. The United States and Afghanistan are seeking to persuade Pakistan to pressure Afghan militant leaders hold up on their turf to enter peace negotiations. The Taliban also may rethink their reluctance to enter negotiations, Hakimi said. The successful U.S. military raid on the compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, where bin Laden was hiding, was one of the great steps in the war against terror, especially for the families of those killed in the September 11, 2001 attacks and in the war in Afghanistan that resulted from aid, Hakimi said. The United States has released 5 video clips of Osama bin Laden that it says was taken from the Pakistani compound where the leader of Al-Qaeda was reportedly killed last week. The videos mainly show him rehearsing tapped remarks, but there is also a video showing him watching news coverage of himself on TV. In another video, bin Laden has apparently dyed and neatly trimmed his beard for the filming of tapped remarks. The video was titled Message to the American People and was believed to be made sometime last year. A senior intelligence official said during a briefing for reporters none of the videos released had any sound and there was no way of confirming dates either. Meanwhile, Pakistan has stepped up calls for senior government officials to resign, with some of the sharpest language directed at the army and intelligence chiefs. In contrast, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, a former foreign minister and member of the ruling Pakistan People's Party, fixed the blame squarely on Asif Ali Zardari, the president, and Yusuf Razak Gilani, the Prime Minister. A dramatic feud at the highest level of Iran's government appears to be intensifying, with speculation that President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad may be preparing to resign. The speculation stems from a political dispute between Ahmadinejad and the country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Ahmadinejad sacked the country's intelligence chief, Haider Moslehi, last month in a move that Khamenei quickly overruled, reinstating Moslehi. Following the move, the president effectively went absent without leave, skipping cabinet meetings for 10 days in anger over the reinstatement. The dispute has reportedly led to the arrest of several close allies of the president, as well as allies of the president's former chief of staff, close aide and potential successor, Isfandiar Mashayi. Reports say the supreme leader was unhappy about Ahmadinejad's ties with Mashayi, who has allegedly promoted the slogan Islam without clerics. At least 16 people have been killed after detainees at an Iraqi detention facility tried to overpower their guards, officials have said. Sunday's incident occurred at the Ministry of Interior's Baghdad compound, designed to be one of the most secure facilities in the country. A police source said that the melee started after a prisoner grabbed a pistol and killed several police officers as he was being transferred between buildings, and the other inmates then joined in. Another official said security reinforcements arrived and killed the group trying to escape. 6 police officers and 10 inmates, including the one who first grabbed a weapon, were reportedly shot dead in the incident, but there were conflicting reports on the exact death toll. Among the detainees were suspected Al-Qaeda and Iraq members involved in an attack last October on a Baghdad church that left 68 people dead, officials said. At least 11 people have been killed and more than 200 wounded in clashes between Muslims and Christians in the Egyptian capital Cairo hospital, and security officials said. Egypt's Prime Minister called an urgent cabinet meeting on Sunday to discuss the violence. A day after, witnesses said a mob of people from the conservative Salafi trend of Islam marched on a Coptic church in the northwestern neighborhood of Mbaba. The march began over an apparent relationship between a Coptic Christian woman and a Muslim man, amid reports that the woman was being held inside against her will and prevented from converting to Islam. The verbal clash on Saturday soon developed into a full-fledged confrontation where the two sides exchanged gunfire, fire bombs and stones, and another church nearby was set on fire. Authorities deployed large numbers of soldiers and police backed by armored vehicles to the area and fired shots into the air and used tear gas to separate both sides, witnesses said. This strife represents another challenge to Egypt's military rulers who are trying to restore law and order after President Hosni Mubarak was forced to step down in a popular uprising in February. Libyan government forces have dropped bombs on 4 large oil storage tanks in the contested western city of Misrata, destroying the facilities and sparking a fire that spread to 4 more, according to a rebel spokesman. Government forces used a small pesticide spraying plants for the overnight attack in Qasr Ahmad, close to the port. Ahmad Hassan, the spokesman, said on Saturday. Hassan said the rebels notified NATO about the aircraft before the attack, but there was no response. Sulaiman Fortia, who represents Misrata on the Rebel International Transitional Council, also said small helicopters flew over Misrata on Thursday and Friday to drop mines. NATO confirmed that helicopters had flown over Misrata on Thursday in breach of the no-fly zone that its jets are supposed to enforce. In another development, reports from Tunisia said shells fired by Gaddafi's forces landed inside Tunisian territory near the town of Daiba on the border with Libya. And the Syrian forces backed by tanks have reportedly entered Tafaz, a town near the flashpoint southern city of Daraa. Residents said that at least 8 tanks moved into the town around 6 a.m. on Sunday. Gunfire was heard and army and security forces broke into houses to arrest youths, they said. Online activists said around 30 tanks remained inside the coastal city of Benias on Sunday, a day after security forces conducted a raid there. They said 250 people had been detained. A Syrian rights campaigner said that security forces killed 4 women who were among about 150 people demonstrating on the main coastal highway from Marqab village near Benias, calling for the release of detained people. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a London-based group, says security forces killed at least 2 others during the tank-backed army attack on Benias and demanded that authorities allow an independent committee to investigate the deaths. The attack came just hours after the United States, reacting to the deaths of 27 protesters on Friday, threatened to take new steps against Syria's rulers, drawn mostly from the Alawite sect, unless they stopped killing and harassing their people. And that's all for now. Thanks for staying with us.